All right, and we are live, and we'll give a few minutes to let everybody hop on. I know this will be watched probably at least 2 or 3, 4,000 times, so we won't let too much time because then more people watch than it'll be live. But we've got a special guest, right? I typically bring people that are real estate related onto my, I'd say my live streams here. You guys that follow me know I do a lot of live streams. I bring the players, right? And I try to bring people that are not full of shit. As you know, I don't like people full of shit. There's a lot of bullshit out there. And let's be real, most people are full of shit. Mm-hmm. But this guy is not full of shit. I've listened to him. I can smell shit from a mile away. This guy's definitely not full of shit. And he's doing something that you guys need to pay attention to, because I'm paying attention to it, and I'm paying attention to it closely. I'm even in his program. And he spoke at one of my events. He's coming back and speak at another one of my events in September. I'm going to his event in Nashville, but we got a few people hopping on now. But before we get started, make sure you share this to a friend. This is where the opportunity is at, guys, right? I mean, there's definitely opportunity in real estate, but as the market, gets hotter and hotter and crazier, and we have all this inflation, all this money is chasing real estate. So what happens is the opportunities are just getting less and less. Doesn't mean we can't find deals. I'm still finding deals, but it's tougher, right? It's tougher to find deals. But this guy right here does something that is so cool that it's right in front of your face, and you don't even know what you're looking at. But once he explains what he's doing, you guys are going to get so excited like I am. You can see how excited I am. But without further ado, let me introduce Kyle. And Kyle, I think I butchered your name. Is it Mullen?
It's Malian. Yeah, Malian.
Malian. So tell them who you are.
Yeah.
Where are you from, and kind of your background before we get into what you're doing, like what you're doing to help people.
Thank you so much for having me, Chris. I'm gonna blow the socks off everybody here because I come from the real estate world. But first and foremost, let me back it all the way up. I'm from rural Wisconsin, a town of less than 10,000 people, where drinking and football and college football and all of that is life, right? And so I grew up a third generation son of a bricklayer. I was destined to be a concrete guy my whole life. My dad unfortunately passed away when I was a young guy. That left me out there fending for myself, trying to get up and trying to learn things in a small community. We only know what we know. We only know what we've been taught by our family and by our peers in those small communities like that. And that really sent me down a wrong path with drugs and alcohol at a young age. Barely graduated high school. Got my dad passed away when I was 16. I got my first DUI at 16. I got my second DUI at 17. I was in local county jail at 17 as a senior in high school. C's and D's all the way through. Nobody thought I was going to pass high school. Ended up at a community college. And you go to a community college in a Big Ten community in a Big Ten college town of Madison, Wisconsin. What did that do? That just fueled my drinking and partying and all the rest of that stuff. But fortunately, this was 2001, I found the mortgage finance business. The mortgage finance business, if you had a W-2, a paycheck, and a pulse, I could get you a mortgage. It didn't matter. We were all living in that time. If you're in real estate in 08 or in 2001, all the way up to 2008, I don't care what you did, what part of the supply chain you were in, you were made a lot of money. And so for a young guy come from a rural town that didn't know anything, that had no prospects in life, I learned high income producing skills and how to sell people and how to figure out this finance game to a little bit. That's where I started out. Mortgage call center, worked it up to a loan officer, senior loan officer. Next thing you know, 22, 23, I got 20 employees underneath me. Rode that up to 07, 08. And if you guys have not lived through one of these recessions, you weren't doing deals or in the real estate business or appraisals or anything in that game at that time, buckle up because we're headed there again. And if you survive that, good news, you're going to get another bite at the apple here to participate in what's about to happen. So unfortunately, 07, 08, I lost everything. As the market turned, October 07 going into 08, I lost houses, investment properties, cars, my dignity, employees, everything. I lost everything and unfortunately had to find a new way to perform, had to find a new way to provide for my family. 25 years old. This was a pivotal moment in my life. I started to surround myself with people smarter than me, people that understood the business model, understood real estate, understood the power of masterminds and leverage and getting in the right rooms. Because just like growing up in that small town of 10,000 people, in that environment, that's the only thing that you know. And until you leave that environment, burn those bridges, you're not going to learn what you don't know. And this is where the opportunity is. And so what you don't know is actually killing you right now. Fast forward, I got into I got into masterminds. I got into learning
Yep.
high income producing skills. I bought my first little company. I got an opportunity to buy a company, a trash company of all things, here in Southern California. Moved to Southern California, burned the bridges once again, 2,000 miles away from everything I have, sold everything I had on Craigslist, and moved to Southern California to buy this company. What was interesting about this company was like a segue into the business. It already had employees.
Wait, but I don't mean to cut you off, but let's tell them just so, because my audience, I don't want them to get lost in who you are.
Got it.
You're in tell them what, because Kyle's a mergers and acquisition guy. If you don't know what that means, Kyle, explain to them, because you're getting into stuff that I wanted to make sure they understand and follow exactly who you are, what you do. Totally. Tell them what you like, what that means.
So mergers and acquisitions. So I buy 6, 7, 8-figure businesses that are already producing. What I was going to say was that we moved to Southern California and bought our first company. It was already had customers, had employees, had cash flow, had revenues. And I thought, wait a minute. If you're in real estate right now, you're thinking, man, I'm buying single family homes. I'm buying trailer parks. I'm buying multifamily. I'm either raising capital, flipping projects. I'm doing a number of different things. You're literally buying you're buying an asset from a motivated seller and reselling it to a motivated buyer, or you're Airbnb-ing it, or you're staying in the middle and keeping the cash flow. I do the exact same thing, but with businesses. So the same methods and practices that you guys use to find these motivated assets, I do the exact same thing. Now, where's the difference here, though, Chris? This is what everybody's excited about. Where's the difference? Well, if I have a rental property that rents for, I actually have 165 single family doors in South Carolina. I buy around a BMW manufacturing plant, C-class, value add, $30,000 to $50,000 pieces that we rent out for $700 to $900. At some point, I can't raise those rents where there's a comp down the street for cheaper, and now I'm competing with them. I can't cut costs more on that rental property to make it more attractive to the open market. But with a business, I can do a new ad strategy. I can find one key employee. I can get one customer. I can blow the doors off of that business and make double, triple my investment costs versus a single family home. I can still get the same tax advantages. I can still do all the same plays that I do in the real estate business. The way that I get the businesses, the way that I market to them, the way that I expand them is the exact same way that you guys are going out there looking for motivated sellers and looking for deals. We're doing the exact same thing, just with small businesses.
So guys, listen to what he just said. He's doing what all of you guys follow me in real estate, direct to seller marketing for motivated sellers, but for businesses, right? That's freaking exciting, right? I mean, all the business, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 20. All the businesses I bought were from motivated sellers. The first Quick Lube I bought for $860,000 and 25 was from a guy not paying his property taxes, sales tax, and he was on drugs, right? So, but he has mastered what I teach you, but in businesses, and he has a huge portfolio. Chris, your portfolio, or Kyle, your portfolio is what of businesses?
18 companies under management. We got about 100 million in sales, and we're buying a company a month right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And guys, this is why I'm so excited, because the opportunity right now, I think I want you to really, you need to really think about the opportunity. I want to break it down to you. And Kyle, you can just cut me off and just add to, because I want them to get excited about this like I am. You can see excitement is that we have how many baby boomers retiring a day that are
10,000 baby boomers retiring every single day in this country. That number over the next 5 years is going to shift to 12,000 per day. This is 40% of jobs, Main Street jobs. You look at Wall Street, you look at commerce, you look at middle America, Main Street jobs are these small businesses. The lower middle market is defined as businesses $1 million to $50 million. This is the predominant marketplace, Main Street, 40% of the jobs in our country. And so as these businesses are transitioning, as these baby boomers are retiring, the same reason somebody would want to sell a house, they inherited it, they're tired of it, they're sick and tired of managing the tenants, death, divorce, health issues, any of these, the same things over and over and over again that you see in the residential side. It's the same thing on a business side. Life is happening to these entrepreneurs, and they have this asset where a majority of their net worth is tied up into this asset, and they need to move it to somebody. But now we live in a world where it's cooler to have a blue check behind your name and 1 million followers than $1 million in cash flow in a boring business like a ball bearings manufacturing company in Cleveland, Ohio. It's just the world that we live in right now.
Yeah, but that shit is I would say that is superficial. It has no integrity. Like, dude, if the shit hits, I said this the other day, you got fast money, medium money, and slow money. The shit hits the fan, and people ain't gonna be giving a shit. If they can't pay their bills, they ain't gonna be following you on social media. They're gonna be looking for real assets, servicing the real economy with real shit that people really need. Because you don't really need to be following influence. You don't really need to be going to masterminds. You should be when the market's good, but when the market takes a shit, it's going to get really ugly, guys. But I love that you just said that about 1 million followers versus people not wanting to be interested in ball bearing business. But that's where the real meat and potatoes is.
I don't care. I'm totally industry agnostic, avatar specific. I'm looking for certain businesses that have certain qualities, right? So just like you wouldn't go to the hood and buy a house for $10,000 because it's cheap, because there's no buyers for that house. You got it really cheap, but you don't know what you don't know, right? You go where the action's at. You go where the first-time home buyers are, where you can get a deal, and then you can flip it to another first-time home buyer or a hedge fund, or, you have a buyer for something. In this business, Chris, you can go to 92121 zip code. You can go, I'm looking for 3 2s, 1,500 square foot, ranch, no huge, deferred maintenance. And I got this buyer over here. I'm buying it for 180 and I'm selling it for 210 and I'm keeping the money in the middle. Well, there's no system like that in this business. And there's no guys like you and I out there that are doing this, because the big money, the private equity guys, the hedge funds, the family offices, which we're connected to, we have a database of 39,000 of these guys. They do not care about anything less than $2 million. They want proprietary technology. They want a moat. They want something unique. I don't. I want something very boring and predictable that's been doing the same thing the same way for the last 25 years. If I try to look them up on Google, they probably don't have a website.
But Kyle, that's a strategic advantage, because these hedge funds, like you said, they don't want to look at anything less than 2 million. But there's a $1 to $2 million business typically has a 30%, sometimes even 35, 40%, cash on cash return, whereas maybe a 3 to 5 or a 5 to 10, the bigger the scale, the less your profit. You have scalability, but your profits usually shrink. So you can't sleep on a $1 to $2 million company. If you got 2 or 3 of those.
But you have way more competition. You have professional investors on the other side. Look at the other end of the scale, Chris. When people are leaving W-2 jobs and income, they're trying to move over and replace their income. So that's why franchising is so popular, because they're like, wow, I get a McDonald's, it's a burger, 2 buns, a dime size of ketchup, dime size of pickle, 3 pickles, right? Like, there's no mystery there. It's very simple. X amount of cars per day, X amount of burgers sold, X amount of profits. That's what I'm looking for. Predictability. I'm looking for the same thing. So if these opportunities are too big for the small guy that's looking for a franchise, but too small for a hedge fund that wants real cash flow and something that they could buy for 2 million, sell for 20, I don't care about that. I'm looking for a nice, easy deal, $3 million that makes $1 million doing something boring like pest control. Because in a good economy, in a bad economy, economy goes sideways, I don't care. It's a reoccurring service that's going to be needed. It's not going to have an impact. It's very predictable. It's very mundane. There's not a whole lot of competition in the marketplace, and it's low client acquisition cost, high profit margin business. So $3 million business. Let me just spoil you with my buy box here, right? Just like you have a buy box, you're looking for certain things. Hedge funds have a buy box. Everybody's got a buy box. Mine is very simple. $1 to $5 million, 10 employees or more, 20 to 30% profit margins. And the reason that I'm looking for those things is because I need enough profit margin. So if I got a $3 million business and 30% profit margins, I'm making about $1 million. If I finance that $3 million, it's going to cost me $10,000, $11,000 per million. So call it $30,000 in costs to pay for that $3 million. Well, I have a business that makes $80,000 in net profits. So I take 80,000 minus 30,000. There's $50,000 in the middle. Now, the key to this thing is I don't want you to be an operator. I don't want you to be in the business doing the deal. Like, you don't need to come and learn about pest control. You don't need to learn about ball bearings. We got sales, operations, and finance. And this business is an ongoing enterprise with or without Chris Ruud coming to the office every single day. That's the game, right? And so our whole game is to buy something like that that's stable, that's cash flowing. Day one, as soon as I close on the deal, the money starts dropping into our Wells Fargo account. Like, there's no mystery. Like, everything is cut over. Day one, we're making money. We have our customers, we have our profits, we have our sales. Nothing is interrupted whatsoever. And then we kind of regroup and start to build this up with a plan to build and grow the company. But we have built-in profits from day one. You guys, real estate folks in general, myself included, right? If you're raising money on a multifamily deal, you're raising money 4, 5, 6%. You're putting it to work with a 10% pref, somewhere in between there, right? You're making your money between raising 4 and 6% and parking it at 10. You're making a 3 to 4% delta. You're getting some equity in the deal, right? That's what everybody's chasing. But as all these equity funds are out there chasing these, lots of money been printed in the last 18 months are chasing these little bit of projects that are available. It's less and less and less availability. Everybody is chasing small returns. In my world, I'm buying a company that's got 20 and 30% returns day one. So minus the debt service, I mean, those returns are just, they're unconscious to those types of investors, because it's like buying a 20 or a 30 cap. It's almost too good, right? A little bit more moving parts. It's not a building somewhere, but with sales operations and finance, you can really mitigate risk and really treat it the same exact way.
Yeah, no, I love that. And guys, you've probably been, if you follow me, you've been seeing me post, hey, looking to buy HVAC company. There's a reason for that, because this gentleman, Kyle, is heightened my awareness on, I've always wanted to own an HVAC company. I knew it's going to be recession proof, and I want to hedge myself against the coming recession. And I want to buy businesses that are symbiotic or a bolt-on business, so to speak, to what I'm already doing. So you guys are already in real estate. Why wouldn't you own an HVAC company? We're looking. We got an HVAC company in Panama City. We're underwriting right now. We have a septic company that we're underwriting right now. That's all stuff it's real estate related. It's a service company, and there's a lot of guys out there that are 60 and 65 years old that have been owning a business for 20, 30 years, and they got a 20, 30% profit margin, and they've made their money, and they're tired, right? They're tired, and no different than what we do in real estate. And Kyle freaking raised my awareness. I'm like, okay, I'm shifting. I've got the process and systems in real estate. My business makes millions of dollars every year, no matter if I go there or not. I ain't got to pay. I pay attention to it, but I don't have to pay all of my attention. So why don't I shift some of attention to some of these service-based businesses with the help of Kyle, showing me. And really, I went through one of his business boot camps. Guys, it ain't a whole lot different than what we're doing, besides a few more moving pieces you need to understand on the finance side. And I'll tell you this, is a lot more due diligence on buying a company than buying a piece of real estate. I would say that's the difference. And the cycle is a lot longer. For you guys that don't know, I told Kyle this, 7 years ago, I hired a guy. I bought his course for like, I don't know, it was $1,000, and I went through it, but I bought a wholesaling course from another guy. And I did both, but the cycle between when you can get a house in a contract and sell versus when you can get a business in a contract is a lot shorter. So I ended up making, a lot of money wholesaling houses. And that's what actually got my career going to real estate versus doing businesses. And I put the business stuff down and I went, but I knew this is where it's at, guys. If you look at all the big players, they got guys. Matter of fact, I was talking to a buddy of mine that lives in Miami about this. He's like, it's funny you tell me that, Chris. He says, all my neighbors are in mergers and acquisitions, and they all live in multi-million dollar buildings in Miami, right? This is a big thing, and I just don't think it's as widely known to the general public. But guys, don't sit on this. Kyle is somebody you need to follow. You need to go to his event. I'm one of his students. I'm going to his event in Nashville. You can find businesses, and honestly, with less competition. I'm sending direct mail out and doing direct marketing to all these businesses. I'm not getting the people that curse at me and say, hey, this is the goddamn 10th letter I got this week by buying my house, They're like, man, I ain't never got a letter like this in my entire life of being in business. There's no competition. Dude, this is where the opportunity's at. This is where the strategic advantage is at. I'm going all in. I'm going to start buying businesses all over the country with Kyle. He's going to show me, and I'm taking this shit to the moon. I wanted to bring this guy on because I want you guys to understand what's going on. This is where the opportunity is at. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, the first time we ever did, the IVR campaign, we were dropping 10,000 mailers a week. And I remember the first time we did that in 2014, it was Memorial Day weekend. We came in and, I had 139 voicemails, and I'm like, I can't believe this, we're buying companies and we're doing all this other stuff. We're parking money into real estate because, guys, at the end of the day, all roads lead back to two things. You make all your money in your business and you park it back in real estate for tax advantages, but you can do the exact same thing in a business as well. So I come in, there's 139 voicemails in there. I start listening to them. I'm like, this is amazing. And every single one of them, you son of a gun, just start ripping your head off for another pink postcard that they got in the mail because they got a termination notice, right? But then there's one motivated seller in there that was like, oh, I just inherited this property and I need to get rid of it right away. And like, that's like the guiding light for that. But that process never stops, right? You drop 10,000 mailers for $2,500. You rifle through 150 angry ones. You get 2 good deals. You send somebody out there to go look at it. You make a deal for 50 cents on the dollar and you decide, okay, am I going to wholesale it? Am I going to keep it? Am I going to fix it up? Am I going to flip it? What am I going to do with this? Right? And you start that process over again. Imagine doing it just one time, because I don't got to flip anything next month. If I buy an HVAC company that's making $30,000 a month, guess what? Next month, it's still going to make $30,000. I'm going to add Facebook marketing. I'm going to add new client acquisition strategies. I'm going to try to bring in and systematize. You're talking to folks that are unprofessional, that are kind of backed up into business and been in business, a lot of them accidentally, and haven't had a professional system set up. Their books aren't set up right. The website isn't set up right. They never ran any Facebook ads. They've been doing the same thing for the last 30 years, relying on referrals, and that's the value add. That's instead of, do painting and, some new countertops and some new cabinets and some new flooring. Instead of doing that, I'm just laying on top sales, operations, and finance to rehab my pieces to get more cash flow, but my cash flow sticks. I could take a $10,000 a month net company and turn it into $20,000 in the first 60, 90 days with the right marketing strategies, right? Also, I would say if you guys are in the real estate business, look at your business as a supply chain. Think about all the things that you're already spending money on. We have 165 doors, 10 commercial buildings. We have a 100,000 square foot manufacturing facility in South Carolina. We automatically got into the property management business. We bought an HVAC and plumbing company. We're looking at a number of pest control opportunities right now. Anything that is in that space, think of all the transactions that are actually made when you do a real estate transaction. Those are all potential businesses. And you guys all have influence in your local market. So if you, Chris, went and got a dumpster company because you're doing a lot of flips, and you bought a dumpster company because that just makes sense. You got 10 roll-offs and a couple of bobtail trucks to go and pick up those dumpsters for your own projects. Could you call all of your competitors in the market, because you're all kind of like frenemies, right? Everybody knows anybody anyways, and say, hey, look, hey man, congratulations. I saw you won 123 Main Street. You beat me on the deal. Listen, who are you using for your dumpster services over there? I know it's a weird deal, but I just bought this dumpster company. I figured I might be able to pass you on some savings. Is that something you might be interested in? Do you think you could get a bunch of customers with anything, with pest control, with dumpster services, with escrow services, insurance? Think about the transactions you're already doing in the real estate space and what you can do to add value to that one transaction. I got a bunch of guys, bunch of real estate, big guys that are coming through, and I'd love to share this story with you. A guy just bought a deal. It was a pest control company for $130,000. He's got a portfolio, 400 or 500 homes in it. He's got a property management company, and he's spending a lot of money on pest control. He just posted this in the group 2 days ago. The seller was 79 years old. Normally I wouldn't be interested in this deal, but I spend a lot of money in real estate and on pest control. And so he wanted 130 grand. He accepted my offer price and terms at $46,000, $9,000 down, and $1,130 a month for 36 months, of which the owner will do 20 hours a week for 6 months to train the new teams. Built into the $1,130 monthly payment, which means the cost me $1,375 per hour. Long and the short of the story is that my property management spends $5,000 a month on pest control. So this business, which will go into the new company of the property management, will pay the monthly downstroke and pay the $9,000 back within 90 days. Essentially, at that point, I got the business for free. No office employees, and he goes on to talk about how he's going to add sales and marketing and blow the pest control up in his local.
Kyle, let's talk about, and this is where you need to understand, it's like there's a lot of good operators out there, but guess what? They don't understand sales and marketing. The 2 companies I'm looking at right now, that he does 1.2 to 1.7 million in HVAC. I said, man, how much money you spend on average? We're looking at his financials. It's like, we spent $12,000 last year. 12,000. That's all he spent was $12,000. But he's been in business for 12 years, but he knows everybody, and he's got this brand, and he's got brand. So imagine he's like, Chris, I can't get past 1.7. I don't know what I'm doing. you know, I'm like, well, dude, you only spent $12,000 last year. So a lot of these guys are like that. They don't understand marketing. So you guys that are real estate guys that are like me, that's what we do. We're professional marketers. You apply what you've learned with real estate. You get hooked up with Kyle, and you apply it with all the direct to seller marketing. Now, it ain't just direct to seller marketing. It's going to get the opportunity in the door. Kyle's going to show you how to underwrite it, how to make sure it's a good deal, how to get the debt on it. He's got guys that were in the coaching group that showed us how to get, you know, SBA loans, how to raise the money, and all these cool tactical things that it's like it's not rocket science what Kyle's doing, but it's something that you're just not paying attention to, and he's going to raise your awareness, right? And I'm telling you, I'm going all in right now. Like, we're actually selling off 3 mobile home parks. We're going to get pretty liquid. I'm buying businesses. Like, that's where the opportunity is at right now.
And like the greatest thing with that, Chris, and that's awesome, man. And I appreciate you saying all that stuff. You definitely are very keen to what's happening in the market. We have inflation. We got this economy situation going on. We have, you know, the housing. I mean, the top 10 markets, 60% of those have seen reduction in ask price in the last 90 days. It's almost like the self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, where's the next blue ocean? What's going on? We got all these things going on. We have a demographic problem. That's the real challenge that's coming on that nobody's talking about. We got 10, 12,000 people retiring every single day and nowhere to take these businesses to. People like us can come in there and, like you said, somebody that is very good in the service business, somebody that's a very good plumber, somebody that's a very good HVAC person, they're very good at their skilled trade. They're not very good, with all due respect, at running a business. Okay. Yep. $12,000 in ad spend is a joke. That should be a monthly budget, but they don't know that, right? They just don't know what they don't know. And so, you know, they could easily be expanding. You know, you come in, you bring simple systems and processes. A lot of these folks are mom and pops answering their own cell phones. They don't even have managed call lines. They're working off of Google spreadsheets. They're not using any type of sophisticated processes or systems in their business. If you got a lick of sense on how to get customers within the business and how to professionalize the brand and tell the world what it is that you do, craft an offer for them and help them get more customers, you're talking 2X and 3X. And some of the categories that you have mentioned, Chris, HVAC in specific, there's a lot of buyers for it. There's a lot of super professional buyers, and the arbitrage is in the multiple. So let me explain that. If I find a company for $2 million that makes $500,000 in cash flow, okay, and say I come in and offer them $1.5 million, that's 3 times earnings, right? They're making $500,000 a year. I'm going to pay 3 times earnings. 1 to 3 times earnings is pretty common for anything doing less than $2 million. If I can get that company above certain metrics, if I can get it above $2 million in cash flow, which, if it all scales out, they got to be doing $6, $7, $8 million in top line to get to $2 million in profits. If I can do that, I have about 20 buyers that'll pay 7, 8, 9 times that net multiplier. So think about that. $500,000 company, you're re-rolling a portion of those profits back into the business. You're growing the enterprise value of the business. You're making money the whole time. You're paying debt. You're making money. You're building it up. But you get that thing big enough, and all of a sudden you get a buyer at, let's just say, 5X. You bought it for 3X. You're selling it for 5X. And you're selling it on the net profit of that company. $2 million at 5X is a $10 million company. You bought it for $3 million. The asset paid for, you bought it for $1.5 million. The asset paid for itself as you were building it and still spit off cash flow, but you got it big enough and you sell it for $10 million on the exit.
Kyle, you're showing all these guys how to exit too, because I mean, you got to think with the end in mind. It's no different in real estate. You know, he had a whole section on exiting the company, and you know, he actually has a Rolodex of guys that he knows that would buy. So this is where the opportunity is at, guys. Trying to think what else we can talk about here to, you know, give them some value. But if you understand demographics, like you said, you understand the baby boomer generation, understand 10,000 people a day are retiring. A lot of probably, you know, 20-30% of those have small business. Maybe not that many. Maybe probably 18%, maybe 15-18%.
I don't know what the percentage is, but I know it's 40% of jobs in America are coming from small businesses.
Oh shit! Then it may be that high. Very well.
Right.
Yeah. Then you understand that there's a lot of guys with a business that been a great business for $1 million, $2 million in revenue they've been doing a year, that don't even know the first way to even sell it. So they get a letter in their mailbox and they're tired. And most of their kids are, and let's be honest, we're entrepreneurs. There's only 3% of the population. Just because you have a bunch of kids, I have 5 kids and I'm a big time entrepreneur. I couldn't do anything else. I'd be lucky if one of my kids are entrepreneurs. Most people don't want to give this to their kids, and most kids don't want to take it over.
And that's a common misconception. People go, what's wrong with this business? A lot of conceptions coming into this. What's wrong with this business? Why would somebody sell a good business? I'm not qualified to buy this business. I don't know anything about ball bearings. I don't have $2 million to pay for this thing. I can crush all of those things for you. Very simple. This is a human to human conversation. When you're talking to somebody that's on the back nine of their career, that's made a name. Take that ball bearings manufacturer. I always use that because it's a real story and it's a real person that happened. Been around for 20 years. In a town of 14,000 people outside of Cleveland that nobody cares about. Nobody wants to live there. Kids don't want it. Nobody wants the business. This guy has built a business in his local community, sponsors every little league team. The back of their jerseys say his company name on it. The lady at the front desk has been there for 10 years. He's paid for all his kids' obligations. He's paid his houses off and all his toys off with this business. He wants to go down and spend the last 10 years of his life down in Sarasota with his wife on the beach. I can't blame the guy, but this is his legacy. Do you think if he's got a $3 million business that makes $1 million a year, and he's been making $1 million a year for the last 20 years, he cares about a $3 million check at 65 or 70 years old? That's the last thing on his mind. He's wondering who's going to step up to the plate and who's going to run this company. Who's going to show me a lick of common sense that could come in here and carry on my legacy in the community? Who's going to handle this business and make sure all of these employees, because the guys in the warehouse, they mean something to me. Donna at the front desk, she means something to me. The little league team, I want that to carry on. And I don't care about the $3 million. I care about the successor. And there's not a lot of guys like us out there that are willing to stand in line to go be a successor for that guy in Nowheresville, Cleveland, Ohio, right?
And Kyle, not to mention, I totally forgot the opportunity for owner finance to get them to owner finance. It's no different than real estate. I'm telling you, this is just like real estate, guys, just a bigger game. And I'd say more upswing and, a better exit if you know how to grow a business. I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I've been looking at more businesses than I've been looking at real estate. That's how excited. But
I had a kid today, 24-year-old wholesaler out of Texas, came to my program. A lot of guys. First off, I've had 200 people come through my program. In the last 12 months, guys have bought $38 to $40 million worth of companies. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a coach. I'm not a professor. I'm not Wharton educated. I'm not none of those things. I'm a doer. I'm a real estate guy doer that saw opportunity and a crack in the market and started buying companies and using the profits to buy more companies. And so this is not rocket scientist. And I'm going to show that. If you allow me the opportunity, I'm going to show you how easy this can be. 24-year-old kid text me right before we got on the call. I made a post this morning about a painting company. They were selling it they did $500,000. They're making $65,000 in profits, selling it for $39,000. And I made a post about it, telling the story. And everybody says, why would they sell this for $39,000? The guy's got to go. He's got a crew man. He's got 4 people doing the work. He's making $60,000. He's over it. Right. So the kid says, I was super inspired by your post. I started texting people that look like sellers, not brokers, but sellers on the website that you had there. And I found this mattress company, mattress dealer, been in business for 50 years in Southern California, has $1 million in revenue and $250,000 in profits. He sends me the screenshots of him talking to the seller. He says, would you consider owner financing this with, 5 years, $10,000 a month, right? So if there's $250 in cash flow, and we're going to seller finance it at $10,000 a month, you still got $10,000 there left, right? You still got $10,000 in profits, even after you pay the debt service on this thing. This kid is a wholesaler in Texas. I can't imagine he's making gobs of money, right? He's wholesaling deals. He says, yeah, I could, but I got to do 5 years. I need to retire. I'm 75 years old. He keeps going back and forth with him. Maybe I can offer you more. Can we try to negotiate the terms on it? The guy says, I want to sell ASAP. He says, do you have any particular plans for retirement or big goals you'd like to see happen? No, I just like to rest. I'm 75. Like this is the conversation. This isn't rocket science. This is a kid with no assets, no balance sheet, no credentials, no nothing, that is engaging with the seller direct for a $250,000 a free year cash flow business. And who cares what the business is? That's my philosophy. A lot of people are going to be a little bit more particular about what types of businesses they like. But for this circumstance, this makes a ton of sense. $250,000 in free cash flow, pay the debt of $120 a year. He could walk onto a $125,000 a year job and a 60-year-old business that's been right at the heart of Southern California for 60 years.
And Kyle, and explain to him too, it's just like you don't necessarily have to, it's just like real estate. When I say it's just like real estate, it's just like real estate. If you get a business under contract, guess what? You can wholesale it and make a big swing on it. You can buy it and hold it for maybe 3 to 6 months, get the sales up and exit in like 6 months, like a flip, like you flip in a house or an apartment building.
You could totally do that. One of the companies that we just bought was a postal ship company with a software element to it. I put it under contract in March. I had an offer for $600,000 higher than what I had it under contract for. We closed on the deal, used our own money. I'm going to sell this thing for $3 or $4 million in 24 months. But I could have took a quick 600 on the deal if I wanted. That is there all day long, finding motivated off-market sellers. Same way that you're finding deals in the real estate business, and there's telltale signs, right? Like in the real estate business, disheveled roof, deferred maintenance is done, the grass is growing. You can tell when you talk to some of these business owners where they're at. You want to look for the biggest players in the game. You look for HVAC companies in your local market, and there's only 50 of them. They're easily identified because I'm trying to buy stuff that's 10 years old with employees. It's not like they're like hanging out in the weeds and I don't know who they are. Everybody knows who they are. I want to make them bigger and better and more beautiful and more pretty and get more customers and more profitable. And that's my pitch when I come in and talk to a seller is, look, I don't want to change anything. I'm not like this corporate raider or whatever you guys think about M&A is all wrong. It's not. It's just an entrepreneur showing up and going, how can I help you get to where you're going quicker? You want to retire? I want you to retire too. How can I help you get there quicker? Your business isn't worth X amount of dollars today, but I can help you. And just by providing that leadership and consultantship and a succession plan for these people, you are saving them. I have a moral obligation to help these business owners that are trying to retire, because guess what? They can't just stop. They can't just let the building go vacant and like deal with it, just pay the property taxes and let it be. They can't do that. They either stop and let everybody go and the business goes to zero, or they sell it. And price is not the number one most important thing. There's 5 other emotional things that you need to kind of go through. So it's the same exact game, different asset, guys. If you can do real estate, you can do this business, and the swings are much, much bigger.
Yep. I love it. Kyle, so Kyle has an event. I'll be there. Kyle, tell them about the event.
Yeah. August 5th, 6th, and 7th in Nashville. We have just a handful of seats left. This is our biggest event yet. These are still super boutique, a lot of access. I bring in one of our fund partners has $1.3 billion under management. He's going to come and talk about raising capital. So this event is really curated for if you're an operator, if you're a deal financier, if you're looking for deals, if you want to learn the methods to look for deals for the most impact right away to hit the ground running. This is who this is for. So there's digital marketers in the group. There's real estate people in the group. There's $1 billion fund guys. It's the whole gamut, but it's super. I think what we do differently is we cross-pollinate people a lot. I love to connect people. Like if you're coming in as an operator going, Kyle, I don't have a lot of cash, man. I love what you're talking about here. I need more of a seller finance deal, or I need a finance guy. I'm like, boom, go connect with this guy over here because he's got capital. He's in your market. If you're a financier and you're like, look, I would love to buy a roof cleaning company in Portland, Oregon, but I'm in the Southeast. I don't have any operators up there. Well, go talk to Alex because Alex is from that area. He doesn't have a whole lot of cash, but he's willing to go to work. Right. So all of these things are super symbiotic. If you need a marketing person, you need a branding person, you need a deal financier, you need operator talent with a specific category, like we can match you up with all these things. And that's the most important thing. The investment or the thesis of my event is always one relationship away. I believe we're always one strategy, one idea, one contact, one relationship away from a completely different life. It's not like if I go out and serve somebody that person and I make them $1 million, they're going to write me a check for $1 million. I go and serve that person and make $1 million in value. The universe is going to pay me that some other way. And by getting all these people in the room that have the same go-giver mentality, really makes this a conducive learning environment. There's no bad questions. There's no Wall Street bankers here. There's no Harvard, there's no egos in this room. And I am notorious for throwing people out of the room that have an ego. I just don't allow it. I don't tolerate it. I want doers and I want people that get results. That's all I care about. And as a testimony, my guys have bought $38 to $40 million worth of deals in the last 12 months. So that speaks volumes.
That speaks very big volumes. Like you said, man, you're one relationship, one person, one skill. And this is just a skill, guys. You just got to show up. Kyle ain't no smarter than you guys, right? So like I tell you all you guys, I'm no smarter than you. Should have hardly passed high school and cheated my way through college.
That's why you and I vibe, Chris, because you're just one of those guys. I can feel it that like you throw stuff against the wall and you're like, okay, that didn't work. You know it's not going to work. I plan to spend money. I plan to lose things. I plan to do all that. But that one little thing that's stuck, now I'm going to pour some gas on that. Right. So just keep going. And as you do that, and you look at 30 or 40 or 50 deals a week, and you do this for a decade, and you apply all those real estate skills over to this other asset, man, that's how we got 18 companies in such a short amount of time. It's the same exact principles over and over again. And once you have a system that works, and like, there's a lot of ways to do this business. There's debt refinance, there's bankruptcies, there's flipping $10 million companies to $50 million. There's all these things. I only do what I know and what works. $1 to $5 million. I know I can sit down with a business owner and go, hey man, what's going on? Where are you at in your business? You thought about retiring? What's that look like for you? How are you going to get there? When are you going to get there? You ever thought about it? You got your books audited? Listen, I can help you go to where you're going quicker. Help me help you, right? That's a simple conversation anybody can have with anybody else. And that's the market that we serve. There's such little competition. It's hilarious.
And guys, just give you a little bit more, awareness. Think about all the businesses that we use in real estate, dumpster companies, HVAC. I spend 6 figures a year on HVAC, plumbers we call, electricians. Kyle could probably shoot off some pest control. I spend a ton of money on pest control too. All these companies are symbiotic. That could be a bolt-on business that you can buy a little service company, a little mom and pop that maybe does $500,000 in revenue, but a 20%, 30% profit that you can, for one, you're going to hedge against the coming pullback because it's still going to be needed and wanted. 2, you're going to create more revenue for yourself. And 3, you're going to diversify yourself out of, the risk of what's happening here in the next, call it 6 months to 2 years of this pullback. It's going to happen soon. So think with that and understand that this is something that you can really use, right? Urinal companies, all these urinal companies you see, they dump everywhere next to job sites, right?
I love that business. I mean, we actually helped somebody sell one of those businesses. People always laugh about it all the time. If you ever see one of those, ask for the books. It's a super profitable business. Because at the end of the day, you go, why doesn't your kid want this? Well, I don't want to haul around porta potties and, they have zero interest in that business model, but it is super lucrative. And so we stay industry agnostic, avatar specific. I'm looking to deal with the right people, the right sellers that are not trying to sell me a bag of garbage, because let's be honest, small business owners have bones in their closets sometimes when it comes to their business. They don't want to talk about it. They're embarrassed about it. And so my job is to spend a lot of time with them in the due diligence process and understand where the risk is, understand where, they had this huge customer that was 30% of their sales and they just lost this customer and they're selling this business. And without this customer, they're not profitable. It's my job to understand all that stuff. But if you can remain industry agnostic, you can look at all of these opportunities and think, wow, they don't have a lot of opportunity to sell this thing. Who wants this thing? Nobody wants this thing. That's the opportunity.
Love it. Guys, if you got any questions, post them in here in the comments section. Kyle, where can they follow you? I know you got the event in Nashville, but you also have coaching. You have, to tell them a little bit about all that.
Yeah, Acquisitionpreneur. I'll put it in the chats. You can also follow me on Facebook. I write a ton of content every single day. and I'm reporting from the front lines, as I like to speak. You know,
Yeah.
I talk about real deals that we're going through, and I just don't really care. I love to turn around and show people exactly what I'm doing, and just give value. You can do something with it. You know,
guys, I know the gurus between the gurus. This guy is a lot like me. You guys have followed me, know me personally. Know I'm just a good old boy from the South that outworks everybody. Kyle is the same way. Yeah, I'm on social media and all that bullshit too, but I'm telling you, this dude is on to something huge. And within the next 3 to 5 years, he's going to be so big, you're not going to be able to get a hold of him. I know winning horses when I see him. This guy's a winning horse. Put your bet on him now. Get around him. I'm doing it. I know a lot of other big guys doing it also that are going to this event in real estate space. They see opportunity. Kyle's an opportunity right now to latch on to a guy that's willing to serve and help you. But you got to get in early, and you got to do it now, because it's just like wholesaling. 10 years ago, not a whole lot of people knew about wholesaling, right? Now everybody and their mama does it, right? And within probably another 10 years, this will get huge. A lot of people start coaching with Kyle, and then there's going to be more competition. And we're going to have to We're going to have to find the new blue ocean, the new strategic advantage. But get in while it's early. Get in while it's good. I'm doing it. I know a lot of guys do it. So, Kyle, I'll leave the last words with you.
Yeah, just a couple last words. I got kids that are coming in here. I say kids respectfully. I'm 39, but I got guys that are coming in here 24, 25, 26 years old with no experience, no prior experience. Kid came to the last event in Las Vegas back in February. Kid bought his first fluidic pump company. Was working a W-2 job. We talked the guy down from $1.6 million, ended up buying it for $500,000, and it's got $500,000 in cash flow. That was his first deal in 90 days.
That was Baton Rouge, wasn't it?
He's a Baton Rouge boy. That's right. And now he's working his second deal, and it's a semi-dealership, $2 million deal, $2 million in cash flow, one-time earnings. This kid, after the debts, it's $185,000 a month, his side in the deal. After this kid is all set up, he's going to have $2.5 million in income after the debt, probably, $2,187.5 in free cash flow a year. Didn't know anything about acquisition 6 months ago, but had the tenacity. He's just a doer. He got in the truck, rode around with the seller. What's your problem, man? How do I help you? Showed a real interest and built some real rapport. And now he's off to the races. I got 20, 25, 30 people going through this exact same process right now. It's not rocket science. I can tell you all the techniques. I can tell you all the strategies. I can tell you how to diet and how to cut carbs and how to do all this other stuff. I can't help you do the push-ups. You do the push-ups, you're going to get the work. You're going to get the result, right? I can give you all the techniques, but I can't help you just do the work. You come in and do the work. These kids are getting ridiculous results. Can't say enough good things about it. The baby boomer thing, 300,000 businesses are coming available on the market every single year as a result of those 10,000 people.
Every
year. That's annually. 300,000 businesses per year is the stat. A reality is that 80% of the business owners do not have a succession plan. And the ones that list with a broker or a real estate agent for businesses, 90% of those businesses that you see on Biz Buy Sell or Merger Bin or any of these retail sites never sell. Imagine having a house for $1 million and knowing that when you took it to market, 90% of the time it wasn't going to sell. Would you even bother listing your house? I wouldn't. Who wants to let people into my house and explain and let them look around and poke around in my family stuff? You want to get close to somebody? Show them your financials. Show them your books. It's the same process. Guys, the opportunity is massive. If you're willing to put in the work, I'm not asking you to go out there and flip 20 houses next year. I'm not asking you to go out and invest in an 80 unit and raise $3 million for a multifamily project. I'm asking you to come and find one deal, one business that you can come and solve somebody's problem in life and pick up $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in free cash flow for you and your family. Regular guy, Chris, a regular guy, family man, just regular people solving problems for other people. You have the exact same capacity to do the same thing. Come join us the 5th, 6th, and 7th, Nashville at the Virgin Hotel, 3 days. The third day, I have 30 off-market deals. I'm going to show you guys exactly where I'm at in due diligence, how I'm going to pay for the deal. You'll have an opportunity to invest in some of them if you like. You're going to get ideas from the types of deals that I'm looking at, how I'm structuring them, how I'm performing due diligence. I'll peel back the curtain on everything. And so if that's something of interest, we got a handful of seats left. Chris, you can they can DM Chris and we get signed up.
Yeah. Yeah. You can DM me or DM Kyle. Just tell him, tell him you heard about it. If you don't already follow Kyle, just say, hey, I watched you live with Chris Ruud, and I'm interested in going to the event or getting some coaching. I'm telling you, this is where it's at, guys. This is no bullshit. Get your tickets. This is the opportunity. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you, Kyle. Hang tight. But I'll see you guys on the next live, and keep skilling up at chrisruud.com. Peace.